All right, I think we have everyone here. I want to say thank you so much to everyone joining us today at Sunstone University. My name is Jennifer, and I will be your host today. On behalf of my company, Sunstone Management, I want to congratulate all of you in the university community for choosing to take the next step in your entrepreneurial journey. Whether you are looking to become an entrepreneur or enhance your entrepreneurial knowledge, Sunstone University is here to help. I am so glad that you're here. I recognize a number of you from our Stella Jong New Venture Competition kickoff at UCI earlier this week. The competition, named after Sunstone partner and UCI alum Stella, is one of many Sunstone-backed student entrepreneurial events, and we're very excited to meet the startups that come out of that 7-month-long competition. One of our scheduled speakers today was unable to make it due to unforeseen circumstances, but don't worry, we have a great group of speakers who are ready to provide their insight into the world of venture capital, accelerators, and startup life. We will start off with some opening remarks from John Keisler, a man with extensive experience in developing public-private partnerships. Then we will have Eric Romero, an experienced economic developer with a diverse portfolio of programs and projects that support small businesses and startups. Next will be the star of our show, Mike White, CEO and founder of Zero Infinity One, who will share with you his experience in the startup and accelerator world. And finally, you will meet Michael Jacob, who will share with you some job and internship opportunities available for those of you who want to get your foot in the door in the world of VC and finance. A brief background of Sunstone Management. We are a diversified private capital firm that invests in diverse early stage tech entrepreneurs. So in addition to holding educational events like Sunstone University, we also support a number of local initiatives through our nonprofit arm, the Sunstone Community Fund, which works in conjunction with top universities, accelerators, and public-private partners to support the local entrepreneurial ecosystem. Feel free to submit any questions in the anonymous Q&A box, and we'll get to them during our Q&A session at the end. And don't forget to share your contact info in the chat box to stay connected with the rest of the Sunstone community. Okay, with that, let's get started. Let's welcome to the stage CEO of Sunstone Management, John Keisler.
All right. Thank you very much, Jennifer, for always being such a great host. And thank you to Mike White, one of our portfolio company founders here at Sunstone Management. I'm super fortunate to have one of the greatest jobs in the world, which is as an early stage venture capital investor, we get to support really the future companies that will shape our economy. And we, on a daily basis, focus on 3 key things at Sunstone Management. Really investment, bringing capital, resources. It could be loans or it could be equity investment. We focus on building up entrepreneurship and training programs, technical assistance or mentoring and coaching through our accelerators and incubator programs. And then community, building up our community that we all need. We all need a community, whether they're founders or funders or friends, to help us along the way. One thing I wanted to just touch base on today with Sunstone is that we're launching in 2023 a big initiative around Sunstone University. And the slide that I have up on the screen here gives you a little bit of a background on what we're thinking with regard to Sunstone University and what it will become over the coming years to support you as university-based entrepreneurs. So, many of us, when we were in college or graduate school, we were just exploring for the first time the development of a career or a new business. And we call that at the university stage really the stage of incubation, incubating ideas. And so Sunstone Management, through the Sunstone Community Fund, which Eric Romero will talk about in a little bit, provides the opportunity for grants to support pitch competitions, incubation programs, and other early stage activities to help entrepreneurs along their journey. But the next stage in Sunstone University is really what happens after one of our founders wins one of these pitch competitions and graduates from university. Sunstone Management is now partnering with many startup development organizations and cities to build support programs and pre-accelerator programs to help those young entrepreneurs make it from university into the next step, which is the accelerator phase. That's a stage when our young entrepreneurs need to develop customers and take their idea from just a concept to actual revenue, which Mike White will talk about with Zero Infinity in just a few minutes. And our real goal there is to help you along your journey, maybe 2-3 years into the process, reach the accelerator phase, where you are now an investable startup. You are now receiving hopefully your first $100,000 or $200,000 equity investment from Sunstone Management, and you participate in one of our accelerator programs. It could be the Long Beach Accelerator, or maybe even Larry's Labs out in New York City, and many more that we're working on in that pipeline. And then finally, post-accelerator, our goal is to help you with either follow-on investment or maybe plug into one of our co-investment partners. We work with funds like the Seraph Group, but also networks of angels like Thai SoCal, or it could be one of the partners down here. We just signed an agreement with Octane to create their new Haystacks platform and make that available for our portfolio companies. So I just want to give you a sense of what that 3 to 5 year journey in Sunstone University might look like for you. Of course, it'll be different for everybody. They'll be on a different timeline, or perhaps they may take a shorter time to get that investment. But the ways that you can keep in touch with Sunstone University and with Sunstone Management is through the new Sunstone University LinkedIn page. I brought it up on the screen here because it's there for you. Obviously, we have 362 members now of our Sunstone University community, but we'd like to see that go to 750 or 1,500, by the end of the year, because in January, we're going to be launching many, many new and exciting opportunities that Jacoub will talk about in just a sec. And then, of course, Eric Romero will talk about. That provides grants. It provides an opportunity maybe to serve on our steering committee. We're going to have a new steering committee that will help shape Sunstone University and the programming that we'll bring to you and to the community in the coming year. So I'll wrap up by saying, this is a long journey, and it can be complicated. Mike White will talk about that, what the founder's journey is like. And we at Sunstone Management know that you need different resources at different stages of that journey. So we want to provide you this monthly programming, opportunities to apply for fellowships and work at a venture capital firm like Sunstone. But we also want to provide the grants and other resources that Eric will talk about that pull together that journey for you so that you're supported. So sign up for Sunstone University on LinkedIn today, so you get those updates about the application process, where you can submit your own interest or join one of the upcoming competitions and demo days that's coming your way. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing and send it back to Jennifer. And thank you, everybody, for getting involved in Sunstone University.
Thank you so much, John. So a little while ago, I was at a recruitment session for our fellowship program, which we will talk about in a little bit. And one of the university students came up to me and asked, in a sea of venture capital firms, what makes Sunstone Management stand out? And that was a great question, because she's right. Those are the types of things that we should be asking in that vast sea of VCs. And part of what makes Sunstone stand out is that we believe in giving back to the community, not only by investing in early stage entrepreneurs, but also by supporting economic development through our nonprofit arm, the Sunstone Community Fund. Here to tell you more about it is Director of Economic Development, Eric Romero. Eric, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And good afternoon, everyone. As Jennifer mentioned, my name is Eric Romero. I am the Director of Economic Development for Sunstone Management. And I'm really happy to join today's Sunstone University event and to connect with you all and to learn more about you. And hopefully we get to connect in person at some point too as well. In my role as Director of Economic Development for Sunstone Management, I get to work with with a lot of great universities, startup development organizations, and people that are truly committed to creating an inclusive and vibrant entrepreneurial ecosystem. One way that I get to do that is by managing the Sunstone Community Fund. So I'll just spend a little bit of time talking about what that is and what we're up to. So the Sunstone Community Fund is a donor-advised fund that's managed in partnership with our partners, the National Philanthropic Trust. And the Sunstone Community Fund really supports a network of universities, nonprofit organizations, and startup development organizations that develop and implement university-based entrepreneurship programs and activities and events, early stage tech accelerators, and advanced local economic development through inclusive entrepreneurship and innovation. We are especially committed to supporting university-based entrepreneurship, as we know how important it is for students interested in getting their own startup up and running and off of the ground, to receive the guidance and support that they need to identify the problem that they are trying to solve, to think through the business solution that will help them address that issue, and to develop a business model that will enable them to do that in a financially sustainable way. The Sunstone Community Fund, believe it or not, just launched earlier this year, so it's not even been around for a year yet, and we've already made a $1 million commitment to advance entrepreneurship and innovation by investing in these types of creative partnerships that we've been discussing during today's Sunstone University event. We've already made multiple one-time and also multiple multi-year grants to different organizations that we are partnering with that are aligned in our vision and mission to create strong entrepreneurial ecosystems that create access to economic opportunity for those that want to start their own business, their own startups. And one example of that is that just about 2 months ago, we announced a great new partnership with the Cal State University Long Beach Institute for Innovation and Entrepreneurship and Dr. Wade Martin and his team, which is a $90,000 grant that will support a program called the CSU Community Builder Grant. Through this grant, we're going to ultimately work with a total of 8 Cal State universities here in the state of California to coordinate university-based programs, share best practices, map the entrepreneurial ecosystems within these universities, and ultimately provide more resources for student entrepreneurs to really ideate and think through their businesses. We have several other great partnerships like this that have already been announced. Another one that you may be familiar with is the upcoming Born in California event that's happening next week, and we'll bring together some of the best startups from across the 10 UC campuses. And we're going to continue to support events like this that really result in kind of sustainable partnerships and resources to give students opportunities that they need and the support that they need to ultimately develop their own businesses and to succeed. So we would like all of you student entrepreneurs that are with us today and those that will also watch this video later to get engaged in these programs. We know that the journey to launching a successful startup is long, and we believe that these investments from the Sunstone Community Fund and the programs that they are supporting will help you get to the point where you might be ready for an accelerator one day, maybe ready for your first round of equity investment. And we want to help you scale and grow. And we will continue to use our charitable giving to support you and future entrepreneurs that are incubating their ideas and businesses at universities. So if you're interested in learning more and getting engaged with Sunstone Community Fund, you can visit us online at sunstonecommunity.org. And we also have a great new LinkedIn page that was launched just about 2 weeks ago. And we're looking for more followers to ultimately, be appraised of the work that we're up to and to give us ideas and share, some great resources for us as well. So thanks for spending some time learning about the Sunstone Community Fund. And I look forward to working with you all. Back to you, Jen.
Thank you, Eric. Beautifully said. And so I want to remind everyone, if you have any questions for anyone here, feel free to type it into the Q&A box and we'll work our way through them at the end. Now for our keynote speaker, something that we've received in feedback over and over again from you guys is that you want to hear from people who've created their own startups, who've become CEOs, who have gone through the accelerator phase. So let's welcome to the stage CEO and founder of Zero Infinity One, Mike White.
Thanks, Jennifer. It's great to be here. So I'm Mike White. Yeah, I founded Zero Infinity One just over a year ago. Moved to Long Beach in January from Austin, Texas, to participate in person in the Long Beach Accelerator and build my company and my life here. I've been producing interactive experiences, entertainment since 2005, mixed and virtual reality since 2016. In 2019, I sold a deal worth $8.4 million to create the world's first VR laser tag game, mapped to laser tag arenas, for an entertainment center chain based in Dallas. So I owned a cafe pub for a while, and before that, I was a professional music composer and audio producer working on interactive experiences also for brands like Fox, HBO, McDonald's, Microsoft, Hasbro, Ubisoft, Wrigley, etc. While also owning a commercial recording studio at the same time. So in all my travels through life, I've realized that the most important thing is people. Right now, I think social media, while being a great thing, in many ways, it's tired. And the same with video conferencing. It's great. It's better to have this than not. We're better off. And I think the pandemic forced societal adoption of digital forms of social connection. But we want something different, and we can have it. And so my vision is a world unified by social connection. And we're creating a way for people to connect socially, casually, as 3D avatars in your real world environment. So Medial is an app for AR glasses like these, the Unreal Light, that and phones, it lets people connect together from anywhere, anytime, as easily as calling someone. After scanning yourself with your phone, creating your avatar in 3 minutes, you can do two things with Medial. One, call anyone else on Medial into your real space, where you can walk right up to them, talk with them, dance with them, as if they're there in person, in your real space, and you in theirs. Or two, you can travel virtually to real locations in the world where you can freely roam around the venue, around the location, and walk up to somebody and talk to them as if you were there in person, as long as they're connected into Medial. So thing number two is made possible by our line of location-based systems called Immer systems, which provide access to real locations through VR. We're releasing Medial in beta by the end of this year. It will be available on consumer AR glasses and later on phones, VR, and PC. We have a number of pilots to fulfill right now, including a key partners showroom in Costa Mesa, where they will demonstrate and sell Immer systems to their customers, which include theater chains, AMC, Regal, Alamo Drafthouse, cruise lines, stadiums, arenas, universities, corporate campuses. So we have a growing sales pipeline right now that adds to that list a handful of major entertainment centers, Dave & Buster's, Main Event, Fun Lab in Australia, lounges, nightclubs, event centers, real estate companies, fashion events and companies, Vogue, IMG, New York Fashion Week, and music labels, Universal Music Group, Capitol Records, and we're just now embarking on the telecoms, starting with Swisscom tomorrow in Europe. So Medial will be marketed initially in partnership with Nreal, whose consumer glasses offer the first means of experiencing Medial in true head-worn AR form. So we're being solicited right now by a number of additional brands, including Skyworth, by Panasonic. We're developing those relationships as they develop their designs for consumer glasses. So we expect Medial will be the flagship XR app that the world has been waiting for. Simply put, the most effective, useful, and fun application of these technologies, immersive technologies. And for what? Social, global purposes. And that's what we all want. Our goal with the Immer systems is not only to provide access to real places from anywhere in the world, but ultimately to deliver new forms of entertainment that are spatial and can be attended by more than just an audience that's physically present on location. So Immer systems essentially shut down proof venues and expand their markets far beyond the limitations of physical walls and geographic location to the entire globe. As such, we believe Immer systems are as important to the coming era as websites were in the previous one. following that analogy, if the internet was called the information superhighway in 1995, delivering 2D experiences and information, Medial is a skyway that delivers 3D spatial experiences, places, and people to each other.
That is so cool. Thank you so much. So as all of you can tell, really like market modern, really forward coming stuff coming out of founders like Mike. A few things. So what people here may not know is that Mike's startup, Zero Infinity One, was accepted and graduated from the Long Beach Accelerator. Can you tell us a little more about that application and selection process? Like what made your company stand out from the hundreds of other applicants?
Yeah, actually, what I had done was made a profile on Spark XYZ. And that actually is a great portal for a lot of different funding programs. I had done that while I was engaged in the laser tag project. So my profile originally actually was all based on that business. And I guess, you know, things take time. And so I was not accepted immediately into the cohort that was following, you know, my making of that profile. I think it was about a year later, in fact, after the Long Beach Accelerator had been going, that they contacted me about the upcoming cohort, which was actually cohort 3, is what we were in. So, you know, I had been planning on starting this company, and in fact decided to establish this company around October, probably sooner, maybe September, August, but it had been a long time coming. You know, I've been conceiving these ideas for a long time, and so just the timing really fell into place. And I, you know, having the Long Beach Accelerator come into play right at the right time, as well as Sunstone, obviously backing the company, it really helped us to just hit the ground running.
So you've obviously had a very long history of expertise in tech and laser tag. So I know that a lot of student entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs to be will be transitioning from your regular office 9-to-5 into an entrepreneurial life. Can you tell me a little bit more about that transition, or in your case, from the world of laser tag into the world of XR and VR?
Yeah, I mean, I guess for me, I've been an entrepreneur for, you know, most of my life. So to be honest, 9-to-5 has not been, in fact, when I was working for a company as an audio producer, my job was, you know, go to my studio in the morning and be there, you know, in with no windows and work 9-to-5. Although I found myself, for me, the key has been really taking advantage of my own optimal times of energy and creativity. So sometimes that's been at night, sometimes it's, you know, it often, I really get a lot of momentum around 4 p.m. And so I generally work, you know, until 9 p.m. but almost every, you know, regularly. That's, you know, I don't usually stop before then, because I really have a lot of productivity in those hours. So I think really that's the key. If you try to, I think it's important to maintain the discipline, 9-to-5, and compartmentalizing your life is important for balancing it. And I think that's the goal, though. As an entrepreneur, you can work 16-hour days, and you will, and you have to. In fact, before I opened my cafe, the week before I opened it, I slept 9 hours in total for during the 5 days before we opened. And that was broken into 3 3-hour naps, because that was just, and I was running the entire time in between. So sometimes you have to do that, but you can't maintain a pace like that, nor should you try, because it just becomes unproductive. So you really have to fine tune when you're most productive. And really that's, you follow peace and joy to give you those indicators.
Do you have any tips on finding peace and joy?
I do. Yeah, I do. I think that really being in touch with yourself is important. And that means, not allowing self-condemnation and really celebrating who you are, loving yourself, actually, really, appreciating everything that you can. Actually, when it comes down to it, just really being grateful and finding things to be grateful for. Sometimes, this is a hard journey. It's hard emotionally. Entrepreneurship is hard. It's hard emotionally and physically and, and in many ways, right? But exercise is important because, again, it's balance and it helps your mind. It helps your body, your soul, your spirit. People are important. You have to have a balance. The social life, all these things. It's balance.
You heard it here, guys. Balance. Without it, entrepreneurship is going to be a little bit difficult. Okay. And then last question before we open up the floor to Q&A. Do you have any recommended reading or listening that you want to recommend our attendees today?
I'd love to. I personally, Neville Goddard is one of my favorite people in the world, and so if you search him on YouTube, very powerful stuff. I also am really into Joe Dispenza because he really provides a lot of scientific proof, I think, of how the mind works and, the power of positivity and creation. And that's really what we as humans, it's a superpower we have is the ability to create and actually believe. Faith is a superpower. So Joe Dispenza, and then Lewis Howes, I think. It's another guy. He has people on his show all the time, so I really appreciate his stuff too. April Garcia is another one. She's a coach that I recently connected with. She has a bunch of programs, but she's about optimizing time, really, and I think that's really a great thing, because if you just work, like as I said, if you try to work 16-hour days just all the time, it's not as effective as being really powerful for 15 minutes. Sometimes can translate into more than a week of wheel spinning and running around like a chicken with its head cut off. Sorry for the expression, but
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, I love that. And for anyone who might have missed those names, we're going to post the recording of the Zoom on our YouTube channel later. So feel free to go back and learn more. Okay, so let's open up the floor to Q&A. Panelists, feel free to ask each other questions. Attendees, feel free to drop off questions in the Q&A or chat. Let us know. Okay, I see one. What advice would you give to starting entrepreneurs? I guess this will go to Mike.
To starting entrepreneurs, what advice would I give? I would say decide whether you believe in the idea or not first.
And as a follow-up, how do you decide what to believe in? Because I'm sure like we've all had 1 million ideas and we all want to follow them, make them all come true. But like you said, you can't stretch yourself out that much. You can't burn out. You have to pick one and go with it. And how do you decide?
I mean, you really have to put yourself in the shoes of the buyer. Actually, in the end, that's what a business is, right? Somebody has to pay money for something. So you might think it's great. You might get really caught up in the process of creating or whatever it may be, you know, that if it's a technical thing, I think a lot of people go down those roads, but in the end, is it what people want? You know, is it what people want to the point where they're willing to pay money for it? That's all that matters. So you have, you know, so you have to make that determination. And you know, again, the only person that you know, you have to believe in what you're doing more than anybody else in the end. You know, you have to derive that faith from yourself.
Okay. And then next question, I have one from Wade. Martin, what role has mentorship played in your success? Do you mentor other innovators? I'm assuming this goes towards Mike as well.
Is this for me? Okay.
Yeah, you're very popular today.
Mentoring. I don't officially mentor, I guess. I'm open to it. I'm trying to figure life out enough for myself, so I don't you know, propose to be you know, a teacher, to be honest, but right now my time is really spent really building the business, and for me, that's my part of that is relationships and business development, while keeping my team working effectively while they build the product. So and it's creative vision, I guess, for that too. In terms of mentoring though, I'm, you know, of course, open to whoever wants to listen to my ideas, my opinions.
Did you have any mentors like in your past that really helped you to navigate the world of business in any of your fields?
Very much so. Yeah, I've had, still have, in fact, some key people. So Francis McDougall is really grandfather of computer vision. I've known him since 2006. No, I always mess this up, but it's around that time anyway. And he's a great friend and a great contributor to this business. In fact, he is an official advisor. He's invested also. And so he provides a lot of insight, technologically, of course. He's got a slew of patents under his belt. Microsoft licensed his tech to build Kinect, and then that tech went into the HoloLens. He sold a bunch of his tech to Qualcomm in 2011. But so he's really involved. And then I have you know, a number of other just very high level you know, people, C-suite people with some of the biggest companies in the world. And so they've really helped me just refine and learn how to be an executive level person, I guess, you know, coming from an artist, composer, creative person. And so, yeah, it's good to have, I think, a nice balance of people to help you, to mentor you in those ways, for sure.
We have someone else who asked, what are the biggest mistakes first-time entrepreneurs can make? And this is also for Mike.
First-time entrepreneurs can make mistakes. I think you know, it's interesting, but I have seen this, I guess, in this space, a lot of companies even raise large amounts of money for ideas that, in my opinion, from the get-go, were not adoptable. And, you know, even if, for myself, with this company, this format, glasses with phone, okay, I knew this is what it was going to be from 2016, but we didn't, that wasn't the form factor. And there was always all these discussions about form factor, and the only device though, that was the first device that was put out was the Microsoft HoloLens. And it was a computer. You're wearing a computer on your head. Nobody's going to wear a computer on their head. That's ridiculous, right? We have a computer in our pockets. So why would you not have glasses that are an accessory that plug into the phone? Let's just get into it. I think that the VR and expecting life to be lived in synthetic worlds is not something that the world wants either. I don't think. But you see, it comes down to direction, vision, really. What is the world going to be in X number of years? What is realistic for people to adopt? And I think that as an entrepreneur, that's what you have to do, because it takes time to build a business. So you have to look forward and see where's the world going to be in however long it takes, that you determine it will take to build this thing, whatever you're building, and will it be adoptable at that point? So obviously that's a little bit of art and science.
Yeah. Is your product market modern? Is it sustainable? All that. Yeah.
Right.
Next on the list, I have a question from Brian Colesill. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. VCs and accelerators can offer more than just money. What other value have you found, and how important is that to you? Are there marketing resources you love, etc.? This question is for Mike, but panelists, feel free to chime in.
I mean, I'm happy to just quickly answer. Sunstone's been amazing in that respect. John Keisler, in particular. Thank you, John. Again, very well connected man. Eric, I think we've met really quickly. I'm sure you are as well. And Michael, we've never met, but people, as I said, and networks are really the best way to grow a business, I think. In fact, at least one of the best ways, or an important. It depends on what your business is and what you're building, of course. But for us, because we're building what we're building, which is a global scale, large endeavor, a large business, it's very helpful. And John's already made some introductions that are really important. So really appreciate it.
Next question, what are your tips for building a great team?
Me again? I'm sorry.
I'm just going to assume they're all just going to be for you. So everyone wants to know, which is a great thing.
For building a great team. So I've kept my eye on people for a long time. So when I spot a genius, I get along well with smart people. I enjoy smart people. And so, for example, our chief technical director, Mike Pecheo, we met in 2006 also. And so, along the journey, I mean, since then we were working for the same company at that time. After that, he went into AAA games. And that's, he's had a career for over a decade in AAA games, senior level positions, and founded his own company since then, also sold it, etc. But he's an absolute genius. And so we've been talking, we've reconnected, just about 2 years ago when I was doing the laser tag project. And he joined in August because, and he's all in, so I just think it's trust is so important. You have to have a company that is going to get along, work well together, and be sustainable, especially at the early stages. It's so important to have a strong bonded company, you know, and that does come down largely to relationships. So does the business development, because there has to be trust. But for us, technological expertise and creative genius, I think that's what I have to call it, without sounding, you know, cocky, I guess, but that's what I look for in people.
Some good things we're learning. Be geniuses, be smart, be creative, and then you have a great team. Okay, Snigdha Ganesh wants to know, entrepreneurship decisions have huge impacts, not on just one person, but to families of employees, users, etc. And yet as entrepreneurs, it's all about making quick decisions. I think wood might be overthinking for an entrepreneur versus regular thinking. I think a little lost in translation, I'm sorry. I think they want to know, like what's the line between overthinking and just regular thinking as an entrepreneur? Like, where do you say, yes, this is going to be a great business decision moving forward for the long term, for your vision? Or is this just me being anxious and paranoid in a corner? So how do you differentiate that?
I mean, again, this is just my perspective, right? I'll answer from, but I'm not a big proponent of, you know, super quick thinking all the time being the, you know, the answer for everything. I think that it's important to make solid decisions that you stand behind, and, you know, sure, pivoting, you know, moving quickly, those are important things, but I just, yeah, I don't agree that it's just that it's just the answer for everything to just make quick decisions all the time. You know, I think that you have to make important. Look at millions of dollars being poured into something with tens of thousands of people working on it, and nobody wants to use it, you know. So think about things and choose which way to go, and then, you know, that's what I think. Anyway, that's my opinion.
Yeah, I actually really like this question. And Mike raises some really good points. You definitely want to take your time to think. Don't be rash, don't dwell on it forever, but be methodical, and, you know, hopefully it plays out, right?
Very well said.
All right, and Ingrid Martin wants to know, so this is a continuation of Wade's question on mentoring. Are you open to talking to MBA students? Again, Mike, this is for you. Are you open to talking to MBA students that are aspiring entrepreneurs, such as sharing your passions, experiences, and guidance? We are always looking for entrepreneurs to share their knowledge with students.
I mean, I'd be happy to. If, you know, I'd be grateful for the opportunity if I can offer anything.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to connect, feel free to add your info in the chat, and definitely everyone will be able to follow up with one another. And here I see Elizabeth Masso has a question. I talked about the book Outliers last night in my MBA class, and they mentioned outliers spend 10,000 plus hours to reach peak performance. Where do you think you have spent the most time as an entrepreneur that's led to your success?
Customer discovery for me, because I just think that's the most important thing, is really identifying what people want. So once you've done that, you know, you can refine, you can target the thing you're building to those wants, I guess, desires. Because you have to build something that people want, right? Like that's the whole idea. You can't build something that you want and expect other people to want it. So, yeah.
Is there something that you feel like you've spent 10,000 hours on?
I mean, everything, relationships, business development, the creative development of the product, conceiving, visualizing the future and how things will be adopted realistically, what the world is going to be like, and et cetera. I mean, I live and sleep, this stuff. So literally, while I'm sleeping, I'm thinking about it. So
those count towards 10,000 hours dreams. They count.
Probably, yeah.
Cool. All right, last one, and then we'll let you have a breather. We've mentioned success here a few times, and so someone wants to know, what KPIs do you use to measure your business success?
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, at this stage, we're just about to launch our product, and so we are pre-revenue right now, and so any business has to be measured by profit, in my opinion. Profit. So that's how I've approached business up to this point. But right now, I'm building something it's a different model than I have done previously. It is a longer game, and it's just a different strategy, right? So my KPIs, I guess, are they're a little bit more fluid right now. They have to do with the progress on our product and progress with the business development and those relationships. As I said, I mean, it's about building something, preparing what's ahead for what's coming, and building that thing, for the future, and setting everything in the future to be ready to receive what we're bringing into it, so if that makes any sense. I'm sorry, I know it's a very creative and ambiguous answer to that, but yeah, KPIs, I actually, so I'll just give you an example. I have some great people that are coming into this business. Former chief of Twitter. I won't be too specific. Somebody who's chief of operations of a crypto coin, et cetera. So these are the kinds of people who are very interested in what we're doing, and as passionate about seeing the vision realized, because they know that this is inevitable and it has to be done, and it's actually achievable. We have the ability to do it. So we're not at the KPI factor, I guess, will be handled by my COO. And these are the things that we've talked about. And, this is the framework we're setting up, and et cetera. But we're just not, the business right now, as I said, it's pre-revenue. So, numerical KPIs aren't as much of the focus right now as the strategy.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much. If you guys have more questions, you know where to find him. All right, Mike, feel free, take a breath. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Next on the list, we have Michael Jacoub. So here at Sunstone, in addition to introducing you to entrepreneurs and giving you some background into entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial life, we want to be able to offer things like jobs and internship opportunities. And Michael here is going to tell you a little bit about the Sunstone Management Fellowship Program, whose window for application is now open. Michael, take it away.
Thank you, Jen. Let me share my presentation, please. Hi, can you hear me? Okay, perfect. Thank you, Jen. This was very inspiring by Mike. I'm honestly inspired. My name is Michael Jacob. I work at Sunstone Management. I'm administrative assistant. I joined a couple of months ago. I'm currently enrolled in UCI MBA program. Honestly, I love Sunstone Management. My experience is really beyond explanation. There's a lot of exposure. I've gained a lot of experience. I've been working with all the departments, investment, development, the CEO himself, the marketing. Everyone is giving me projects to work on, and each project is developing. And I have been learning in every single project I've been taking. So with every step, I'm getting a feedback, I'm getting mentoring, I'm getting a different experience than I had. I've been working for like 6 years of marketing till now, but with every thing or every opportunity I'm getting to work with an individual or like a department in Sunstone, I get a new exposure. I get a feedback that actually is like not the use negative feedbacks. I don't like this. No, but actually you should, this is nice, but you can develop it in a better way. So I have been developing since day one till now. I'm looking forward to spend as much as possible with Sunstone Management. It's nice. The culture is very friendly. It's like a family. I joined a new family. Like it's different than previous companies I've been working with. I know your time is valuable now and we're getting close to finishing this event. I would like to talk about Sunstone Management Fellowship. This fellowship is very competitive, challenging. As I mentioned, it's rewarding. You're getting to interact with leaders in our company. They have experience in venture capital, private equity, investment, economic development. Our headquarters is in Irvine. Joining the fellowship will give you the opportunity to be mentored and coached by professionals and young professionals, I'd say, in this area of investment. We are, as you can see, we're investing in innovative projects. We are just not taking any kind of business. We're investing, we invest in innovative products, they have sustainability, they are scalable, and they can grow. We have currently 2 openings. The first one is Management Fellow. He will be working directly with our CEO. He will do research, business development, and he will be presenting on a weekly basis the presentation for our CEO or board members about his results and how he did the analysis for it. This is like the top 3 points I figured out, the most important ones in the fellowship. There's more to add to it, and you can find it on our website under the community tab, the fellowship. You'll find the 2 opportunities there, and I'll be sharing it the screen very soon. The other one is the marketing fellow. He will be working with our marketing manager and PR. He will be helping with our social media, creating content and using different channels of communication. He will also be assisting with the reports we share with our teams and analysis. We also be providing assistance with Sunstone community events like this one and academy, and if you're going to a university for recruitment, all these events he or she will be sharing in. We are accepting resumes till November 17th. This is next Thursday. We have been open since October, so that's why we have been asking you to follow Sunstone University to be updated when we start our applications and when we end it. And we will be having our 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks in November, interviewing. December, we will have our second round of interviews and getting the answer back by end of December. We'll be starting in January 1st and ending in June 30th. This fellowship is for 6 months. I would like to say that it's really been an amazing experience joining Sunstone Management. If you can scan this QR code, this will take you directly to our Sunstone University LinkedIn page. Please follow to be updated. You can also find on our website, sunstonmanagementinvestment.com. You can go and then go to the community tab fellowship. You will find more details about our jobs. Let me take you and share. So this is our website. This is like a top notch for the jobs here. You can see Sunstone Management Fellowship and Sunstone Management Marketing Fellow. To get more information, please have a look and apply before November 17th. This is our email, fellowship@sunstoneinvestment.com. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jen. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Michael. So yes, we definitely have positions like these open. They are open to students currently enrolled in master's programs. You don't have to be from UCI. You can be from, any accredited master's program. We will say that we are constantly looking for new people. So other internships and other job opportunities, we will go ahead and post on our website. I'm going to go ahead and, yes, the URL has been added to the chat, so feel free to check that out. Our careers page will also be updated as more opportunities are available. And barring that, you can also follow the Sunstone Management University LinkedIn pages, which will give you other rolling opportunities. So for example, if any of our portfolio companies are looking to hire or are looking to get more interns, you can definitely connect with them. So last few things before we wrap it all up. I want to say thank you to everyone who attended today, especially thank you so much to our speakers for providing so much insight and knowledge into the world of entrepreneurship. I hope you guys got a better idea of how you want to pursue your entrepreneurial dreams. We do have a bunch of Sunstone supported initiatives for student entrepreneurs. There's the Stella Jean New Venture Competition at UCI. Next week, we will be sponsoring the Born in California pitch event. So startups from all University of California schools will be presenting. And we are also sponsoring the Sunstone Innovation Challenge at CSULB. So feel free to check those out on their website. We have a bunch of things we want to be able to provide to you as resources. Feel free to send us any sort of feedback. I'm going to add it all in the chat. And thank you so much for attending Sunstone University, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great one.
Thank you.